Hey people, it is Wednesday the 22nd of October. The time is 5:45 in the late afternoon. It's about 9 degrees Celsius and it is currently raining. Not very hard, but just hard enough for me to have to get the umbrella out as I make my way along Bloor Street, looking west here towards Yonge and Bloor, but I'm going to be turning here on Park Road and heading north. I'm actually making my way up to the Yonge St. Clair area. But I thought I'd take a little detour through a bit of the Rosedale area on the way instead of walking straight up Yonge from Bloor. Hopefully this rain will let up. So we'll take Park Road right up into Rosedale. We'll be crossing Rosedale Valley Road up ahead. And I might actually take a walk right past Geddy Lee's house, the famous musician from the band Rush. You may have heard of them. They recently announced that they'll be getting back together with a new drummer and going back on tour. Neil Peart passed away back in 2019, I believe, or 2020 maybe. Got a funky looking new building on the rise here. This is Church Street, where it sort of curves around and intersects with Yonge. Lots of traffic backed up, as you can see. It is rush hour on a Wednesday rush hour, and Thursday rush hour I find are the busiest. This is kind of a neat little area of the city here, kind of on the northern edge of downtown. The Rosedale Valley running along that northern edge. Which we're descending down into right now. Am I going to lose my sidewalk here? It looks like I might lose my sidewalk here. Well, that's unfortunate. I wonder if I can get across here before the traffic starts moving. Don't mind me, folks. See, there are plans to build a new tower here also, on the site of these two older buildings. And things change pretty quickly, as you can see, from a dense built-up area with lots of tall buildings to an almost wooded-like area here. Well, it is not almost, it is a wooded area. Rosedale Valley Road is lined with lots of big trees. Once you go further along that way, it does descend down into a much more valley-like route where you're looking up at the surrounding city from down below. And the fall colors are starting to show themselves. So most likely, when the colors are in full effect, I'll probably take a walk along Rosedale Valley Road. And you can see buildings poking up beyond the trees. Likewise in that direction. And we're basically coming into Rosedale right now. One of the most exclusive residential neighborhoods in all of Canada. Usually considered Toronto's old money neighborhood. Keep an eye out for the street signs here. As long as a drag having to record while carrying an umbrella, and I'm also carrying all my streaming gear in the same hand as the umbrella, so my right arm is getting a good workout right now. Here's Avondale Road, that's what I was looking for. I think the rain is letting up though. I might be able to close this thing up. Get an idea of what the homes are like here. A lot of them are very old, over 100 years old. The area was first developed in the late 19th century. But there are lots of newer homes also that have been plunked down amid the old ones. But the overall character is of an old, historic neighborhood. Built in the sort of tradition of an English garden suburb. And I think this is Geddy's house right here. It's kind of surrounded by trees and shrubbery. Oh, there it is. There's a lot more to it than what we can see here from the street. If you look at an aerial view, you can see how massive it is. And these ones as well, very massive. I'm sure Geddy was pretty happy the other night when the Blue Jays secured a spot in the World Series. He attends every Blue Jays game. All right, has it stopped raining for real here? There's little tiny drops coming down. Look at this one. I just know that once I close my umbrella up, the rain will probably start up again like 5 minutes later. That's what it likes to do, especially on days like this. Whoa, check out One Blower West towering off in the distance there. That's quite the contrast, old mansions in Rosedale with a super tall skyscraper looming behind. And I wasn't doxing Geddy, by the way, by showing his house. That's a well-known fact that he lives there. It's no secret. He doesn't make it a secret. And we got some nice Halloween decorations in front of this place. This can be a fun neighborhood to walk through closer to Halloween when the Halloween decor is in full swing. I usually do that at least once. If not in this neighborhood, then in another one such as Cabbagetown, which also goes all out for Halloween. This is an apartment building. Yes, Rosedale does have apartment buildings as well. Quite a few of them, actually. Mostly low-rise to mid-rise. It also has a very well-used bus route going through the neighborhood. We are basically still on the edge of downtown here, so it's very much integrated into the heart of the city and everything that entails. Just that when it's let me try that again. Still getting over this cold I had recently. When this area was first built up, this northern end around this area was not really developed. So downtown basically grew up into Rosedale, because most of the city's development in the 19th century was going east and west, not so north and south. That came a bit later. Alright, so this is Crescent Road. This will take us over to Yonge Street. We'll continue our journey north up towards St. Clair. Look at this one. That one's getting some renos done. Alright, here's Rosedale Station. And I'm going to tend to a couple things here before I carry on. I think I can close my umbrella. I actually see the sun popping through off in the distance there. This will definitely make the rest of the walk much easier without having to lug around this thing. There goes the bus. 82 Rosedale to Summerhill. Summerhill is another well-to-do neighborhood just north of Rosedale. Pretty much all the neighborhoods going north along the Yonge Street corridor are quite well-to-do. Here's the station, and we got a train. Just watch it pull away. This area is a bit of a slow zone here. The trains tend to crawl through this area. Most of the subway tracks that are exposed, such as along here, are stuck in the slow zone areas. The underground sections are usually doing okay. I guess being exposed to the elements is really hard on the tracks, keeping them in proper condition. And looking down to the Bloor-Yorkville skyline. All right, north we go. This is so much better just walking along without having to hold up the umbrella and hold up my other bag full of streaming gear along with the umbrella. Now you can see I can just walk along much more comfortably. Which way do we go here? There's always something, I tell you. I wonder what the issue was there. Yeah, the sun is definitely trying to break through. Looking west. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll clear up nicely just in time for my live stream later. Lots of great shops along here. It's fairly busy right now, but this stretch of Yonge does tend to get kind of sleepy in the evening hours. Most of the activity now is cars, though, as you can see. Lots of development proposals all along here too for some mid-rise to very tall buildings. A lot of them tend to be pretty upscale buildings. This is a new one, just sort of wrapping up construction. I think across the street also will be a new one. There's Tironi, a nice restaurant. look at that, blue sky.
Alam mo, di ba sa mga school, may mga...
This one's called the James, this fancy new building. Even sounds fancy. Speaking of fancy, here's the fanciest liquor store in all of the city. It's housed in a former train station. That used to be the North Toronto rail station. There's tracks running right alongside that are still in use. It's pretty impressive inside. That sort of mini Great Hall. The Great Hall is at Union Station, which is a ginormous space that you might have seen on my channel before. I'm just standing here like a schmuck waiting for this light for far too long.
It's actually way better to shoot it from this angle there. You can actually see the product.
I don't know who's in charge of the traffic signal coordination in the city, but I'm not too happy with how they're doing it. The lights take way too long to change, in my opinion. It's become my new complaint of late. And Yonge St. Clair up ahead is developing a much more imposing skyline these days. There are a couple of buildings under construction that will elevate its presence. It's always been a bit more low-slung compared to downtown, obviously, and even compared to Yonge and Eglinton further north. But you can see up ahead there's a new skyscraper rising above the rest of the neighborhood. The crane on top. It still has quite a ways to go before it's topped out. But I thought instead of walking just straight to Yonge and St. Clair, I'd actually head over to a park I've never actually recorded. It's kind of a big open space, and I think you can get some cool views of the surrounding area from there. I think it's called David Balfour Park, if I'm not mistaken. It's just a few blocks east of Yonge Street.
On the bracelet.
We're going uphill here. Crossing Summerhill Avenue. There's another development proposal for here for this old low-rise apartment building for a 49-story tower. If that gets built at that height, I think that might be the new tallest building in the area. Although very close in height to the one up ahead with the crane. Not sure which one will actually be taller. Got a good steep incline here. I think this is the offices of Cineplex. I used to mistake this for an actual theater due to all these posters and whatnot. But no, it's just office space. All right, Jack's Ave. I think this is where I'll be hanging a right. We'll go over to that park. That's a nice wayfinding here. David A. Balfour Park. And Deer Park, the neighborhood. And then St. Clair, South Rosedale. And this awesome view. Try not to get the pole. We'll get another view, I think, from the park. I'm not sure if it'll be completely open or not. There's another new tower being built. Yonge St. Clair is growing upwards. I mean, there are plenty of other tall buildings already around the area, as you can see. But these new ones are rising above all the older ones by quite a good deal. Rent today. And these are old buildings, these apartments, dating back to the 1960s, many of them. And this area kind of grew up as a outlying node of density along the subway line, along every station. A bunch of apartment towers and some office buildings tended to pop up. Much more so up at Yonge and Eglinton, which is the biggest one. At least in the old city of Toronto. Further north at Yonge and Sheppard in North York, there's another area like that. But this is my first time walking along here, and it'll be my first time checking out this park. It's a little library. There we go. Got a Nice walking path here. Not sure if it wraps all the way around the park or not. Yeah, it is just a big open space. I always find these kinds of parks a bit strange, to be honest. Seems more like a athletic field or something than a park. I guess you're just supposed to run around and play frisbee, play with your dogs, I guess, even though it's not a dog park. Maybe lay down a blanket, have a picnic, suntan, whatever. I think I prefer parks with lots of trees and benches, some old statues, that sort of thing. To me, that's a park. Some fountains, you know. But there is a view looking south. I wonder if we can see the CN Tower once we get past those trees. I think the CN Tower is hiding behind a building. But there we go. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up the video here and get ready for my live stream. Hopefully the rain stays away. It looks like I might luck out. So I hope you enjoyed the walk on what started as a rainy walk through Rosedale. We walked past Geddy Lee's house and continued through Rosedale, checking out the mansions. Made our way over to Yonge Street and then north. Up here almost to St. Clair Avenue at David A. Balfour Park. My first time here, and I see a bench over there. I'm going to make use of that bench to get ready to do my live stream, get things set up. So leave a comment down below if you enjoyed the walk. Or not, let me know either way. And also be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And be sure to also hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified and you won't miss any of my videos or live streams. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store, or you can also become a channel member if you like. And you can also support the channel with a super chat if you're so inclined, or not. But thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back. Because as always, I will continue.